And with that, I truly believe what makes that so fascinating and something I feel as an adults we've lost track of is our imagination. With our imagination, it had a limitless way of identifying things from a very energetic standpoint. Rather than identifying it with a word, it would go based off of a feeling. Greetings and welcome to Tea Vybz Tribe Podcast. My name is Amaru and this is my beautiful wife.
Thank you, handsome. Shana. And for those of you who are new to our channel, we are Our Essence of Serenity. And again, this is our podcast, Tea Vybz Tribe. Would you like... Before I say that, where we like to sip tea and invite you to the table to have conversations with us. Would you like to tell the people what we're sipping on?
We are sipping on Irish black tea.
Irish breakfast. Black tea.
You just literally told me.
I told you Irish breakfast. It's a black tea.
That was the first time. And then the second time you said
we are
Irish
sipping on
black tea.
Let's say it together. That way we can both just introduce the tea.
I remember. That's what I'm sipping.
I said Irish breakfast black tea.
And then when I asked you again, you said Irish black tea. I kid you not, and I'll play it back.
Okay.
You mean your outro?
Yeah.
Right. It's Irish.
Irish black tea. Want me to say it?
I got it. Irish black tea. But
okay, so we're gonna move on with it.
Right.
So it's either the benefits is either gonna be over. Why don't you tell them what side it's gonna be on? Since
the benefits is gonna be right down here, y'all.
And in so we're gonna have the name of the tea right here or right here, and the benefits is going to be in the description.
Then gonna volunteer where it's gonna be at, fam.
The benefits will be in the description, and the name of the tea, which is Irish breakfast black tea, will be over here or over here. You probably gonna put it right there. Would you like to tell them what we're talking about, or you want me to introduce the topic?
Sure. Go ahead.
So today we're talking about the importance of incorporating, I guess, like what? How can I say it?
Your childhood, your youth.
Yeah, your childhood into your adulthood. So, as always, I asked, do you want me to start or do you want to go ahead and start?
I'll start.
What if I say you childish, so you might as well start?
All right. So, yeah, when it comes to your childhood, I feel that is the most significant time in your whole life. I feel as if that lays out the foundation. I feel as if that sets the tone. I feel as if it opens the many of doors of the possibilities of you getting to understand what life is truly all about. Not necessarily going off of lessons and being obedient to a certain household, but more so how you view life with your own lenses. And with that, I truly believe what makes that so fascinating and something I feel as an adults we've lost track of is our imagination. With our imagination, it had a limitless way of identifying things from a very energetic standpoint. Rather than identifying it with a word, it would go based off of a feeling, which is when a child knew when he did wrong, because he would hear the tone, but he would more so feel the tone. And that's what will make him cry, because it's like, okay, I did something wrong. Let me not do this again, depending on what type of child you are. Whereas if you're like myself as a child, I was very, very wild. Very, very wild kid. I was bad. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was bad.
But don't say bad, you were busy.
I don't even gonna say I was busy. I was very adventurous.
Yeah.
I was very,
you
very
were energetic.
I was very energetic, yeah. They tried to diagnose me with the alphabets, but it wasn't even about that. It was
not those alphabets. Because when you say the alphabet,
ADHD. Because I was so lively, because I saw life in a different way, to where it's like I was always animated. Yeah. Like, you take me outside, I stayed outside type of kid. So yeah, I truly feel a lot of that as far as a kid that should stay, not just within our youth, but as we get older, is our imagination.
I think that you still incorporate that to a certain extent. I think that I think for both of us we do, because our thing is we like to laugh and we like to joke around. We know how to be serious, but I find that as being kid-like, especially on the weekends when we spend time together. I know that was something that I was thinking of when it came to this topic, is that I know for me, I feel like the weekends is like our time to just have fun. Even if we're just, we run errands on the weekend. Like, we still do things that's considered being an adult, but we still incorporate activities in our weekend that I feel like plays into that inner child that's in both of us. But I feel like it's very important. I feel like it gives that balance. Can I say that well, I guess I can only speak for me, because I was about to speak for both of us. And maybe you may agree with this, but I feel like for me, when I was thinking about this topic earlier, I was like, I feel like I incorporated more than what I think I do when it comes to making sure that I'm allowing my inner child to come out. But I also was thinking about certain ways in which I could do better with that. Yeah. But I feel like even with it not just being a thing of me being able to do it while we are together, I feel like even when I have moments where I'm by myself, I guess I was thinking on like my routine and stuff and how I actually do incorporate that. I think for some people, it may be a thing of, if they had a traumatic childhood, it's like, well, I don't want to go back and relive those moments. And I don't think that it's always necessarily about reliving those moments. Certain things that you enjoyed as a child, even if it's coloring or, like my husband said, being out in nature, that's something that you can still incorporate into your adulthood. But it can be a thing of, if you had a traumatic childhood, maybe thinking of things that you wish you would have been able to do as a child that you can incorporate into the now. So
I can definitely relate to that as far as the household being highly chaotic. And one of my ways of escaping was my imagination. To the extent to where, because as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I'm very spiritually oriented with myself. So I had imaginary friends, and I'm not just speaking on just seeing stuff as far as just based off imagination. I'm talking like actually seeing spirits type of thing. And it was because of that bond that I allowed my imagination to take me places that I found peace within the chaos. So yeah, definitely when it comes to it, finding that means of escaping to an extent to where you just try to find the fun in anything and everything. Even to this day, when we go to parks, I go crazy when I see monkey bars, because it's like I've always been that type of kid to where I was just always active. Me and too. I still get that in me. Yeah, I can't see you swinging on them monkey bars. Going down the slides, getting on the swings, all of that.
I think even in laughter, I think for some people it's like, well, especially if you have a busy schedule, well, how can I make time to tap into that inner child? And when I think of children, I think of them laughing and having a good time. So even if it's watching like something that's on social media or like a quick clip of something that's funny, to me, that's very lighthearted when you're watching something that's funny and you're laughing. So, it's so many different ways. Even mentioning the whole thing about coloring, I think we look at that as something that just children do. And go and get you a coloring book, which I have one somewhere in here. Honestly, I did get one. I even got crayons, but I haven't used it. And I probably got it a couple of years ago. But that's something that you can incorporate. I think that also helps us be able to manage adulthood, which we know can be very stressful at times. So tapping into our inner child allows us that break away from the responsibilities. So...
Yeah, I truly feel that has a way of bringing us back to our own realities, because we get caught up in the whole 9-to-5 thing, as we've mentioned, and that adulthood, worrying about bills, worrying how to take care of this as far as retirement, all these different things that pulls you away from what really made you happy, what really brought you joy. Like me, I still watch Thundercats. I watch a lot of anime. There's a lot of things from my childhood that is still incorporated into my life. And it brings me more sense of not just reminiscing on those particular times, but what those particular things meant to me. And the very fact that they're still a part of me. Some of the things I had to, transition upon, realizing that it was no longer needed within my path, but still there's certain things from my childhood that I still hold dear to my heart.
I think even with you saying that, thinking of certain music, just like you said, how you watch Thundercats and it kind of bring you back to those good memories as a child. It kind of puts you back in that space. I think even listening to music from whatever era that you grew up in, which earlier I was thinking like it was nothing, to me it's nothing like the late 50s. I'm including daddy's year because I know mama's the 60s, daddy's the 50s, but they grew up in the 70s. So to me it's nothing like that era, and no offense to other people that did not grow up in either era that I'm about to speak on, but like for us being born in the 80s and living out our childhood in the 90s, to me like those times were when you think of those times, you think of it being more innocent. Like you were actually able to be a child and it was okay. It wasn't uncool to be a child while you were still a child. So I know sometimes when I hear songs like from the 90s, it'll put me back in my childhood. Like certain, remember how I told you my sister, I don't want to say her name on here, but I probably have said her name on here, right?
No,
Okay. How she would listen to a lot of Mariah Carey. So at times I've noticed lately I'll hear a lot of Mariah Carey from like the 90s, and when I listen to that I'll think back on my childhood. So that's another thing also, like my husband mentioned, with maybe certain cartoons or if you were into anime, so certain music can just put you back into that. So even if you are busy adulting, you can still pull up those things and kind of sit in that energy of when you were a child. So, but it is very, very important. I also feel like it adds years to your life,
I strongly agree. Before we go any further, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Our sponsors for today are Zenful Vibes, a holistic aspect of Our Essence of Serenity. In today's product, we will be presenting the Elixir. This is a natural concoction that consists of a vast amount of earthly properties infused with both healing and rejuvenating the cellular structure of our unique anatomy. With the assistance of the ancestors and holistic dedication, it is confidently assured to aid and produce miraculous results. This natural compound has been supercharged with high vibrational energy to provide healing properties as far as eliminating pain. This should only be applied as external use only. It should not be taken orally. There are two variations of this elixir. You have the regular, which consists of mimosa bark, arnica, bee oil, and peppermint oil. And then you have the premium, which is more profound, more potent, and more powerful, which consists of everything of the regular, but it also contains snake oil. The type of mimosa utilized in this elixir is from a root tree bark, and it is good for cellular regeneration. It treats wounds, burns, and alleviates pain. The bee oil more so treats arthritis, inflammation. It assists in skin care, assists in backaches, and joint pain. The arnica treats bruises, swelling, broken bones, sprains, healing wounds, muscle aches, joint pain, insect bites, also good for inflammation, as well as superficial phlebitis. And for those who desire the premium, the snake oil is good for pain relief. It reduces inflammation. It's also good for skin care and muscle aches. For more information about this product, please visit our website, ouressenceofserenity.net, under the tab Zenful Vibes Holistic Products.
Alrighty, and we are back. So just making sure that you're mindful to include that into your everyday life.
Yeah.
So
And I feel that adults who have difficulties with that, especially if you have children, be around your children. Like when you see them doing certain things that remind you of yourself, try not to alter that. You don't want to stop a child from having fun to an extent to where it's keeping them from identifying themselves, finding out the things that they like. As long as they're not harming themselves, allow them to be them. And I guarantee you, you will see a lot of things reflecting upon that moment into the moments that you used to have when you were their age. And that could help bring out that type of energy to get you to a point to where, or get you to a place, I should say, where you have, once again, that joy.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was something from your childhood that's a memory that kind of stands out in a good way? It's kind of like it's like it sets the when you think of your childhood, it sets the tone for it. Am I making sense?
It would be on Fridays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Friday.
What TGIF Friday?
No, not even like that. It was just more in
okay.
the sense of he would be working, and it was just peace at the house. Well, I'm just saying, like, look, we looked forward. I think everyone in the house looked forward to Fridays because it's like we went to Hollywood Video, either got a video game or rented a movie, and it was cool. I mean, it was, like I said, it was peaceful.
Yeah.
It was very, very peaceful.
You actually got to be a child and
Right, and I have to worry about
peace with it.
exactly.
Yeah. I think for me it was when I think of us decorating at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like when I think of my dad putting on the old Christmas music he would play through the with his vinyls, and us putting up. We had the singing lights and decorating the Christmas tree, and I think. Have you ever smelled how like the garland smells?
Like pine smell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
For me, that sets the tone for it, and I think now in adulthood, I think that's why I like to decorate. Every time I bring up Christmas, I'll probably say this every time that I enjoy celebrating Christmas. I'm more so just like the whole vibe of it. And my husband, of course, he compromises and allows me to decorate the house with Christmas decorations. But I do that because it brings me back to my childhood. So even on days throughout the holiday season where it's like I'm busy being an adult, when I come home and I plug in that Christmas tree, it's like, I don't know, it gives a sense of calmness, of peace, protection, or whatnot. So
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do embrace it, because like she said, I have a different take on certain holidays and whatnot, what they really represent. But just to see her happy, like it makes me feel at peace to know that there's certain aspects of her life that she could still hold on to.
you handsome. And I feel the same as you as far as the meaning. We won't get into that.
Right.
The meaning behind Christmas.
We're both aware.
Yeah. But once again, it just more so ties heavily to my childhood.
And that family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with how, we celebrate birthdays. In our family, we actually pick a theme, and it started with my brother-in-law's birthday, where his theme was the Ninja Turtles. His birthday kicks off the year for us having back-to-back birthdays, so everybody pretty much has a theme. Like mine was the Little Mermaid, and then my husband's was Star Wars. So incorporating stuff like that, like you can find decorations on Amazon for cheap, and just when it comes to your birthday, decorating whatever it is, just making sure that you don't forget that inner child that still exists. So at this time, we would like to invite you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, comment, share this video, because you never know who is meant to reach and you don't want to get in the way of the universe conveying that message to them. Also, be sure to check out our website, www.ouressenceofserenity.net, where we make high vibrational handcrafted jewelry. We also have our holistic line, which is the Zenful Vibes line. So make sure that you check that out so that you can check out the product that was sponsored in this video. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Also, on our website. Actually, if you look down in the description below, we have a link to our blogs. Also, that I said follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to make sure that I hit everything. Subscribe to our newsletter because when you subscribe to our newsletter, you will get a special gift as well as other promotions that we'll be coming out with soon. I feel like I'm missing something as always. Also, when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, we do post our monthly prediction videos where we do an energy read for the month. So make sure that you check that out. We just did one for this month. So since we still are early in the month, check that out. What else am I missing?
I think you hit everything.
Are you serious? Okay, just give me a second to make sure. I believe we did. Yeah. So until next time, you all take care. And what do they need to do, sweetness?
Find that inner child, embrace that inner child, and stay lifted.
All righty.